Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slade and today I have a walkthrough for the brand new Ashes to Ashes anniversary event. This is going to be part 1, the campaign of Moriden's return. As you can see, I am on test server. That's because they very kindly gave us early access to this event in order to help make some guides for you guys. So yeah, you'll see at the top it says 15 days. Ignore that, it is much longer in live game. But anyway, we're going to complete the walkthrough for the first part and then that will unlock the rest of the stages. Now, in terms of a team, what I thought I would do is create this very free-to-play friendly comp, but the interesting thing is that the hero's level, promotion grade, gear, artifacts, bond skills, etc. don't take effect in this. So you can basically bring whoever you want. So for example, Abomination here, if you don't have him, you could bring a Kagura, you could bring a Wukong, you could bring, you know, whoever you want. Same with Baron, doesn't have to be Baron, can be any kind of tank. But essentially, this fight does use a lot of ground heroes, and I would definitely recommend 2 healers. Hollow's great, Vortex is great because of that lovely extended range, but if you want to bring in your Eloin or your Percy or your Narissa, absolutely feel free. Now, in terms of big damage, Alicia is absolutely fantastic with this fight. You also get the special assist with the new hero Valara, and the reason I like these two for this fight is because they are long range fighters with that side lane as well. So heroes like Numera and Arrogance are also really lovely options, but to be honest, any AoE hero could come in well. Just remember someone like an Estrid who at A1 has that lovely extended range. Because it's A0, it's not there. Now I is there for some crowd control, it's quite nice, but you could basically bring any other mage in if you wanted to have a little bit more DPS. And like I said, any kind of tanks is going to be good, but this is a squad we're going to run through for the team. Now I have just realized that I haven't put Vortex in the northern slot for this. I am revoicing over this footage, but that's absolutely fine. It seemed to work out no problem. Anyway, for stage 1, we are going to start by placing our first tank in this little corner spot to block things. Now, the way that this works, and then the other tank up the top, and the way this works is you have these sort of like NPC minions. There is a shield, so it gives you a little bit of buying time so that you can start to place down some units. Here is where we're going to place our Valara. She's going to be lovely in holding that damage there, and then we're going to put our next damage dealer on the other side. It's going to sort of be a mirror for this event stage, this campaign stage even. But yeah, down goes Alicia. Next we are going to put down the little minions come around and they should be fine, and you've got stuff. Next we're going to put down Vortex as our big heal. He can cover everyone, that's why I like this extended range. And yeah, the minions are pretty easy. It is stage 1, just hit auto cast, absolutely no problem. Then we are going to put down I on the weaker side. This is going to just sort of slow things down so that there's a little bit more time for heroes to get their ultimates back. Volker is going to go behind the tank. Again, another long range fighter is pretty nice here, and we're going to just let cost build up. Now this big guy with the green arm, he does hit kind of hard, so that's why I definitely recommend putting your best DPS on this bottom lane rather than top lane, because that's where he spawns out of. And then these little archers do target the closest hero, so again, having that little freeze from I is nice. And of course Abomination is behind Isolde for that top level, but it's not till he starts to really ult that he's going to be able to reach in front. But again, that's okay for this stage. Anyway, we're going to just let all of these mobs come through. Like I said, the big guy comes down the bottom. The archers do go both lanes, so yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just let everything ultimate cast, and that is basically going to be stage 1 completed. Now let's move on to stage 2, exactly same team again, and this is how we're going to do the placements. Now we've got 3 lanes to be aware of. First up, we're going to put our first long range fighter in that middle spot there. Next, we are going to bring in a tank. And again, this is why I like that sort of like side range with the fighter, because then they can reach in front of the tank. Valara is going to hold down this bottom lane absolutely fantastically all by herself. She's honestly a fantastic hero, and I like the fact we get to use her. Hitting that auto cast is going to work lovely as well. Next, we are going to place Volker in this top lane. and she's going to have some little healing that's going to sustain Valara down the bottom, and then we are going to bring in Abomination on the top as well. The two of them are going to be our main damage dealers, and if anyone sneaks through, that is where we have that lovely protected bubble, and we're going to put down our big healer with Vortex. He's going to tank most of the hits from the archers, and it does get a little bit dicey, but it is going to be okay. And we are going to put Hollow down facing the middle bunch, because that's sort of the we get a lot of heroes in that lane, but she'll also cover Vortex, so that makes it a lot safer. And then what we're going to do is place I to support Valara, let them have a little bit of freeze, and that will give Valara more time to do her damage and hold down that lane very, very comfortably. So yeah, autocast is going on. Those big green minions are coming into the middle. A couple of eye crystals go in front, which is also just a little smidge of nice damage. It's very nice. It's very cozy. And yeah, and like I said, if anything sneaks through, you do have these sort of what I call NPC little groups of archers. I think they call them like Fey Warriors or something, that will protect if anything goes through. But to be honest, it's a pretty safe fight. We are on to the final mob now, and he goes down, and that is stage 2 completed. Okay, moving on to stage 3 now. Same team, you know the drill. Now, this one is going to be quite interesting. I'm going to start with Valara, and we're actually going to now get to use her tactician move in this fight, and I'll explain how that goes. Next, we're going to place Volker to that top lane, and you can't see it here, but Valara is doing some beautiful work down the bottom holding those mobs. We are going to place our long range fighter in the middle to make sure that there is support on both sides, and the other thing is we're going to now ult with Valara, and we're going to move her to this bottom spot so she'll kill that, because these Fey civilians down the bottom, basically you do not want them to die, otherwise you fail essentially. So we don't want that. Now next we are going to place I here to get some crowd control and some slows going, and straight away we're also going to put down Vortex to protect. Now again, I is going to get targeted by the archers that come round, so putting the healer straight down is going to help, and then we are also going to fill up that bottom lane with our final fighter with Abomination. And so yeah, we get a little bit of freezing going on. I think honestly long range fighters would be best for everything, putting down our next healer as well with Hollow, and that is pretty much going to hold the top lane pretty comfortably. As you can see, autocast is on. It's pretty chill in the top lane. No pun unintended with the ice crystals. I would say here, if you've got a long range fighter instead of Wrath, that is definitely going to be better. Put in a bit more damage, and then yeah, what we're going to do is with the ultimate we're going to move Valara back to that middle spot, because then she is going to be able to cover all the minions that come out of that bottom left portal, but because of that really cool thing that she does when she moves, you've been able to clear the entire bottom lane with just her. And a little bit about the tactician class, just while we're letting effectively this run, because it's now completely set up, is essentially they have this really cool mechanic where they can move 2 tiles, not 2 tiles as in they can move to a tile when they ult. So you have to do it slightly differently. You have to click on them, click on the ult icon, and then that lets you see what squares they're able to move to and different things like that. Now Valara is the only one that can do both platform and ground units, but the other 2 are just ground for now, but I'm sure we'll see other things coming in the future. And it is a really interesting mechanic, but you can also just ult with them and they don't have to move either as well. So yeah, anyway, that is stage 3 complete. Pretty straightforward. Anyway, let's move on to the penultimate stage, which is going to be stage 4. Alrighty, now we are at stage 4. We are going to proceed as normal. This one's quite an interesting little stage, as there's a lot of gaps, but and a lot of archers come out of this one. So anyway, what we are going to do to start off with is we are going to place Alicia, our long range damage dealer, in that top corner. She's going to do a lot of work holding that lane, and we're going to place I next to her to slow everything coming down that lane, which is incredibly helpful, essentially. Then we are going to wait for some cost to generate, and we are going to place Abomination in front of Alicia in order to tank it, because the mobs are now getting a little bit more gnarly. And you can see we are letting the soldiers, the NPC soldiers, help us out, and we're going to place Valara in that middle square there as well. She will be able to kill things. If the RNG happens weird, you can always reset the stage, and then obviously we're going to put down our tank in front of her and hit that auto cast button as well. Now, next thing that we are going to be placing is our healer. Recommend facing up. The reason you don't want to put it in front of I is they are just going to get obliterated by the archers, so definitely want a wide range healer here. And then we're going to put our second tank next to Alicia, and she'll be able to cover that corner if needed as well. You also have these like much bigger mobs sort of going diagonally across the board, which can be a little bit trouble. And then we're going to place Hollow in order to protect Valara and Isolde as well. But essentially, yeah, this team is absolutely fine. It should cover everyone. Like I said, auto casting is there. What's interesting about these stages is, to be honest, it's more about where you place the heroes rather than necessarily how amazing your heroes are, because effectively everything's reset. But yeah, these sort of big guys that come with the sort of like green walking thing are interesting. But we're down to our final one. We are absolutely fine, and everything has been defeated. So we have now completed stage 4, and we're going to move on to the 5th and final stage. So yeah, final stage, here we go. And this is where we get introduced to the boss fight, which is going to be Moriden, the limited hero. Now, to start off, you get a little introduction. It's quite cool. We're going to start with Alicia, a long range fighter, in that very top lane. And then we are going to mirror it by placing Valara at 17 cost, or when we get the cost, in the bottom lane facing. So they are going to be holding our side lanes. Hit that auto cast, it should be absolutely fine. Now next we are going to place Volker. We're not going to actually place her in this middle tile here. This is where I was like, hang on a minute, what am I doing? Like, wait, nope, wrong position. We're going to place her in front of Alicia. Extra block, but also just to protect Alicia a little bit, because we need some time. And we are going to support Valara and that middle section with Eyes crystals. So she's going to go down here, and that is going to help, because again, slowing down the mobs helps Valara protect her a little bit, but also everything. Now for the middle, we are going to place down Abomination. He's going to take a little bit of time in order to put up his two tile range, but that's absolutely fine. We have plenty of time before the boss starts to come down the middle. And then we're going to place our rock thrower, or our defender. Next to him, we are going to place down Hollow. She is going to basically heal, and that's sort of why Volker and Alicia, they can hold their own in the top lane with enough healing between the two of them. And yeah, then essentially we're just going to wait a little bit, see where we need to put down our final hero, and it is going to be our lovely boy Wrath. He's going to go in front of the tank just to get some extra damage in that top lane. And very soon we get this lovely cutscene of Moriden jumping off a ship. He's so cool, and I really do like this new tactician class. I think it's very interesting, very niche. I think some of the sort of very endgame content, like the Malrock Stones, are going to do really well with these heroes. But yeah, this is when we get introduced to the boss phase, which will be part of the challenge phase. Essentially, he has a couple of special moves, and we want to kill him and get the points. And yeah, so we're going to pick up the wonderful Wrath and put down was his name, Vortex, so that everyone is a little bit more protected, because this guy does do big damage, big damage. And now the really cool thing is we are going to ult with Valara, and we're going to move her into this boss lane in order to take down Moriden. She does some lovely damage, and here she is just going ham on the boss, which is really cool. And you can see Moriden will jump around the screen, do different things, and just make trouble, but that's okay. Now we do have a minion down the bottom which we have to take care of, so we're going to pick up Eye, and we're going to put down Isolde. You could put down Wrath. It didn't really matter, it was just a hero needs to go down that lane. And then we are left just with the boss. like I said, he's pretty easy to take down with just Valara and obviously Abomination, and if you had different fighters in here, it's absolutely no problem. But when he goes down, he does come back up with this 50% health. And again, the cool thing is you can ult with Valara and then follow him around the board, so he is constantly taking damage. Obviously, she does have a range in which she can follow him, but just like that, you have beaten him, and that is victory. That is effectively all of the campaign stages complete. You get these little chess pieces. I have to say the shop is really, really nice. And then you get this quite cool little cutscene, just completing the story, telling you a little bit more about these new heroes and the new tactician class. So yeah, after this lovely cutscene, that is when you unlock the challenge stage. There are 3 modes to the stage: normal, hard, and nightmare, and you have to try and do as much damage on the boss, and obviously it gets harder as it goes on, but that is going to be a separate video, because the challenge stage, you then do get access to all your gear and heroes and different things like that. But yeah, anyway, that is everything from me today. I do hope this helps. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you think of this brand new tactician class and this Ashes to Ashes event. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and the next live stream. So until then, take care and bye for now.